It's just me tonight at the moment. Professor P had an emergency literally like 5 minutes ago to take his daughter to emergency dental stuff. So, and I literally just walked in the door from the 2024 Buick Nationals, which kicked off today. So, I guess I'll run down the list. I'm going to have someone jumping in here soon to be a co-pilot for tonight's Wednesday night Tech Talk Live. But we'll run down the list. Danny Boyd was here first at 8:24 a.m. and John Wilburn was at 9:36. LP94 Lars was here at 10:30. Bruce Coltgen, Miss Cat G, Fab Rates Mod Repeat, hello from Northeast Dragway. One-Eyed Cat, Dakota's Timeout is saying howdy, folks. Aaron Germanson, aloha from Nodak. I'm out of hibernation. Oh, that's good. It must be that time of year. We have, fortunately, here in Tennessee, we have the 7-year brood of cicadas, so they're out of hibernation too, and it's like literally you can't walk outside without being attacked by them suckers. Okay, Blue Grit Garage is here. Says, hey there, I will try and multitask and wash parts while checking out what's up. Well, tonight's going to be a bit shooting from the hip. So, Dakota's Timeout says, where is Nodak? Yeah, North Dakota, bro. Okay, Buick Smith is here. Let's see, Colleen Tebow, Rick Salmon, Michael Schmidt, and I think Dizzy Izzy is here. So, evening, Dallas. Hey, everyone. Val 360 Jimmy. Sup, everyone. Colleen Tebow. Hello from Central Arkansas is Roger Bagwell. And I think that's it. We're caught up. So if you got something that you need to ask and you need some advice on Wednesday night Tech Talk Live, here we are. So, and I haven't eaten, so I'm literally eating an apple right now. So you know me, I'm diabetic, so I have to eat something if I can't starve. Okay, let's see. Jonathan Couchy says, hey Dallas, long time no see. My Wednesdays have been filled up. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the club. Yeah, my Wednesday today was setting up at the Buick Nationals, put up my tent or my awning, and I got a motor there to sell. So hopefully it sells before the weekend's over. Let's see. Mopar's Mustangs and Minivan says an apple a day keeps the devil away. And I heard doctors too. I'm not sure, but literally this is the simplest thing I had to eat, like literally grab and eat right when I literally walked in the door less than 5 minutes ago. So you're lucky that we even have a Wednesday night Tech Talk Live. So other than that, though, is there any questions, comments, or concerns that anybody wants to throw out there? Okay. Well, all right. Michael Schmidt says, tell us about the Buick Nationals. What's cool there? Well, you have your normal myriad of 68 to 72 Buick Skylark, and then anything Grand National or turbocharged Buick. There's pretty much a plethora of those. You'll never be short on those. But I guess the coolest thing there was I guess it'd probably be like a 54 Studebaker with a 455 Buick and a automatic. But it looks pretty cool. It's an ultra wheelbase car. Other than that, majority of the stuff that happened today was rain, and more rain. I just got set up at my little booth for the swap meet, and it had rained pretty much a majority of the morning, and then all of a sudden, boom, clear skies, nice and clean, and I had to leave to come here. So it was a 2-hour drive. So let's see. Dallas is hawking stolen Buick parts. None of them are stolen. They're just here. So let's see. Jonathan Couchy saying, so I got a 318 9-1 318 poly pistons cut reliefs. So is it a 318 poly that you got with 9-to-1 compression? Yes, Buick Nationals equals Dallas in Wonderland. I'm kind of in Wonderland, but nobody there does it as cheap like I do. So I guess if they had a Junkyard Nationals, that would probably Buick Junkyard Nationals. I would be in ultimate heaven. But yeah, I was trying to sell some Wildcat 355 300 parts, and that's that. All right, well, here we go. Here is my guest for tonight, Mr. John Wilburn.
Shocker.
Yeah.
They were expecting something of quality. Instead, they get me.
No. Nobody expects anything of quality on this show.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well,
is here?
Oh, there's a ton of people here. Like Clint Street Machines just popped in, and so did the voice of the No Name Nationals, Mr. Ron Ward.
Roger Bagwell's here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here.
Jonathan Couchy.
Yeah.
Colleen and Damien are here. Dizzy Izzy.
Yeah, Dizzy Izzy's been turning. I guess he wants to give me something. So I don't know. I'll see what he has to. What he's been trying to get a hold of me. I said, hey man, hold off till after the Buick Nationals, because I'm literally balls to the wall during the Buick Nationals, just so I can sell some stuff and get ahead and see some people that enjoy Buicks, and some of them watch Mr. Rodder's Neighborhood. So say hi.
Shake hands. Most of the old parts and restaurant. Most of the old Partron Ward is here. I don't see Patrick. He's most of the old parts and rust.
Okay.
Michael Dizzy said he posted a video too. I might be afraid. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what.
There you go. Couchy's got you a 318 question.
I did not see that. Where am I at? Here we go.
708.
Okay, regular 318 Dallas. That's ported 318 headers, ported iron 4-barrel, 216 at 50, 272. So it's not a split duration cam. So 454 lift.
Yeah, it's pretty conservative.
We cut 318 poly pistons to work in a regular 318 9-to-1, hoping for 300 horsepower. Well, with that cam, and I don't know about the ported iron 4-barrel. I don't know how good the factory 4-barrel intake manifolds are from Chrysler. Are they, John? Do you have any?
That's kind of wild. They use 318 poly pistons to hope to get 9-to-1. That doesn't even. I don't know why that would be, because if anything, the poly piston would be heavier where they're canted valve, I would think. But you could get 9-to-1.
Do they have the dome too?
I don't know. I don't think so. But the thing is you got 9-to-1 in the 318s of the late 80s, early 90s anyway, like the 302 headed 318s.
Yeah, well, most of the Magnums were probably 9-to-1, because don't they have the heart-shaped chamber that just like the fast burn Chevrolets or the GT40 Fords?
It's a different chamber.
Yeah, it allows you to get away with more compression.
Stephen Holtz was looking at putting poly heads on an LA block, and he just set them up there and was speculating. But man, I think that's a lot of work to try to make that happen.
I'd rather just do the poly block and bore it over to a 340.
I think you're giving up the best part of the equation, is that thick block.
Yeah, exactly. I'd bore it over to 340 bore and have at it, and then just use the poly motor. Because there's a guy here on YouTube.
Piston. He said it was flush to the deck. Okay. If it's flush to the deck, you'll probably give more than 9-to-1. You got 9-to-1 on an 87 to 91 318, and the piston was still down in the hole. It was 9-to-1.
Okay. Well, let's see. Ron Moore and Sam, I'm on the fence about putting a 50cc pump on my 3310-1. The stock 33cc pump is almost doing the job. What's the best way to optimize a 30cc pump? Well, you can actually put the smaller squirter in it, right? Doesn't it have to give a longer duration? But I don't know if that 3310 3310-1 has a changeable the squirters. I mean, most Hollies are, right? I'm not Mr. Holly, so
Don't know.
well, either way.
Is that on a no, it's a 3310. That's because our double pumper. It's on a 3310.
Yeah, I think that's a vacuum secondary carburetor. And you could literally if you put your 50cc pump in there and then the smaller squirter, it would give you a longer duration and you might not need it all.
You can adjust the arm travel on the squirter too.
Yeah.
So go to the 50, but then, reduce the travel on it. You can do that. Fabre's Motor Pete says try going to a smaller squirter and switch to the long tube style squirter.
Okay. Well, Michael Schmidt saying, stupid question, but if you put a wider wheel on tire on the one wheel peel side to increase traction, would that help him to stickish better at the drag races? An open rear end doesn't really help you stick hardly at all at the drag strip.
It'll make you spin the other one.
Really, I mean, the track is like flypaper, so it'll hook that one wheel.
The best I've seen for this is what 318 Will Run does. He literally does a burnout on one side and does a burnout on the other.
Oh, and locks the one wheel once it hooks up?
He does a burnout. You can watch it on his channel, 318 Will Run. On his Duster, he does 2 burnouts and spins each of them.
Well, so Jonathan Couchy saying still have the polyblock to make an LA-headed stroker. I'm telling you, man, if you really want a hot LA, that polyblock is the one to get, man. Because can't you just put the LA heads on it? I'm pretty certain you can.
Yeah, I think that works.
So then that thick block, you can bore it to 340 bore or 360 bore, but then you got all that extra meat in there. So Ron saying that his 3310-1 has 28,000 squirters. I would go to, that's the small one anyway, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know if you can go to a much smaller squirter than that. You're going to definitely have to play with the duration or the travel of that pump arm then. But I think if they have a smaller squirter than 28 thousandths, which maybe is like a 25 thousandths, I would do that and then deal with that 50cc pump and then play with the duration on it. Okay. Buick Smith is saying, propane ignites fast but burns slow. Also lower BTUs than gas. What would you think would be better? Large bore, short stroke, or long stroke for greatest use of the fuel? Well, you got to think of it. If you got a long stroke engine, it's going to accelerate from top dead center away slower until it's middle of the travel. And then it's going to accelerate faster. So if it's going slower, I would say that the long stroke is probably going to work better with the slower burning fuel. That's what I would think.
I don't know. I have to wrap my head around that one.
Well, if you use a short stroke and a large bore, it's going to accelerate the piston away really quickly, which would actually, you might not even gain all the power out of it. I think that the long stroke is the better. Well, long rod would be better if you had a longer rod combination. So if it's
hey, Jonathan Couch, you should make a video on that. Make a video on your projects there so we can watch it ahead of time before the Tech Live on Wednesday. That'd be interesting.
I must be really behind. So Dakota saying that 3310 is a 750 vacuum secondary.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Jonathan Couchy saying, although I have a roller block 360 block, as well that has the castings to use roller lifters with the oiling provision for LA heads, which the Magnum blocks do not. Oh, I wonder if you could put a polyhead on that roller cam 360 block. That might be worth it.
No, that's what I was saying. So Stephen Holtz has got one mocked up to look at it to see how it would fit. But man, I don't know how you'd ever oil the rockers on it. I mean, it would take some external plumbing probably. It'd be quite a job.
Oh, it doesn't have the oil passage in the same spot?
Oh no, water passes, oil pay. It doesn't line up. Not
Oh, I didn't know
not
that.
quite. It would take some work to make it
I
work.
thought it just fit right on there and that they were interchangeable.
No, the bore space is the same. I mean, it could be done, but it would take a little bit of work.
Dizzy's throwing out some knowledge there for y'all. BTU, the British
British
thermal
thermal unit, right?
Let's see, Michael Schmidt on large stroke with nitro.
Yeah.
Doesn't it burn
Yep.
longer on downstroke to increase power longer as piston is going down? Yes, that's correct. It burns like almost the entire length of the stroke, essentially.
That might be the people to ask about propane.
Yeah.
People run nitro.
Yeah. Well, and you'd have to have some vast experience with nitro. But I do know the nitro guys run long rods.
Mopar's Mustangs and minivans. He asks the messenger pigeon. Imagine getting tech talk from a pigeon. That's exactly what we did back in the day, Damien. Remember when you used to have to write or like send in a postcard to PO drawer or whatever and order parts and that kind of stuff and order catalogs that way?
Well, magazines used to be that way. Yeah, magazines used to be that way. There used to be a guy that worked at Hot Rod Magazine and then at Carcraft, or maybe both at the same time, named Marlon Davis. Marlon Davis was like the king of this. You would send a letter in saying, hey, my combo doesn't work. What do I do? And then a month later, Marlon, or maybe even longer, would answer your question. So you would just wait. Buick Smith's asking, Dallas, any pre-war stuff at the Nationals this year? No, the Nationals is pretty much looking the same. 68 to 72 Skylark. And if you don't have one of those, you got a Grand National or your Mr. Rodder when you eventually show up with your 63 Buick Special and no one will even have a clue what it is. But there's a few 65, like 64 5 Skylark, but not many. There's not usually much. I don't think I've ever seen anything pre-war there. Okay.
Well, we talk about the old passenger or messenger pigeon stuff and being archaic. I was digging around in some old newspapers today. This is from what's the local newspaper here. And they have an ad, save on sixes at your Ford dealer. They had an ad enticing people with a picture of what looks like a 206 and a C4 to come in and buy. Now, that ad just would never work today, but it's interesting how differently people thought then.
Well, 206 and a C4 would probably be like one of the most reliable combinations ever made. If it just had like a HEI distributor in it, it would be like last forever.
It says that you save as you drive on gas, oil, and tune-ups. Ads are just written for a completely different kind of person back then than they are today. Now, I'm thinking about doing that on the live on Friday, is rounding up several of these, because I think people might find it interesting. We got all kinds of stuff in those old papers. These are all from right here, too. So I don't know. We might do that. Speaking of the old school stuff.
Yeah, well, I have a couple Hot Rod magazines from like 60, 61, 62. Golly, man, you talk about cool.
Yeah.
And plus the thing that makes you cry is like the price per parts. You know, $25 for a carburetor. Golly. But
200 Ford to top loader 4-speed to Maverick. I know where all of that is.
Oh yeah, you have somebody that has one of those.
Well, yeah, I know a friend that had a few of those and he died.
Oh,
They're
really?
still scattered about his yard to this day.
Huh. Well, Buick Smith says, have to let me know if that 70 GSX clone El Camino shows up. I have seen pics. It looks good. Would love to take the El Special GS gas sipper someday. Yeah, but, well, you would be an oddity there. That's for sure, because there is not many anything outside of 68 to 72 Skylark or Grand National. Everything's either a Turbo Regal or Big Block Regal or Skylark A body from 68 to 72. Let's see. Okay. Clint Street Machines. Dallas, any bubble tops there? That mint one I sent you got me looking at them. No, okay. No one looks outside of what I just told you, the 68 to 72 Skylark and the Regal, or Grand National. Not many people look outside of those. And when I actually brought it up before that, hey, Buick made a bubble top, people were like, what? I don't think so. And I'm like, oh, yeah, guaranteed they did. And it's an oddity even amongst the Buick folks, because most Buick folks aren't like me, where they like anything Buick from pretty much the beginning until, well, not so much today, but yeah, anything up to through about 2004, I guess. Yeah, okay. Michael Schmidt wants to know if a Maverick would have been 3 in the tree or floor shift. And I'm sure you could have got either or.
I have never seen a column shift manual in a Maverick. I know Ford offered it up through 1986 in the F Series.
Yes, Clint, it is the Nationals, but most people will not bring a bubble top Buick or like anything outside of the zone, right? Because one, nobody will really look at them. They're all running around looking for parts, and I don't know. It's sad that no one appreciates any of the early stuff. Like I really like the 58 to 64 body style, but you very rarely see those. I've seen more of those at Sick Week. Sick Week had 2 Invicta bubble tops, and the Buick Nationals 0. Yeah, no, they're not. There's not any Tri-5 Buicks there. Buick Smith, you could have got the bubble top Buick in Invicta or LeSabre. You could have got a regular LeSabre with it. I don't know about the electric 225s, but I do know that you could probably, if you could get on a LeSabre, you could get it on a Wildcat. So I'm sure there's Wildcats too. Let's see. Blue Grit Garage says, I have a 250 cubic inch 2-barrel top loader with a 380 True Track and a 66 Mustang Coupe. It is peppy. Yeah, and that gear set with your manual transmission is going to make just about any of them peppy. But the Mustang inline 6-cylinders actually ran really good. There was quite a bit of racing done in SCCA with those. Yeah, the Buick Bubble Tops makes for a beautiful hot rod. I looked for one for years before I got this 63 Special. And I mean years. Because one, they're rare anyway. And then two, it's impossible to find one that's just not some kind of rust bucket. I went and looked at one in Florida that you could literally throw a dead cat through the quarter panels and then come out the other side. Right? So it was bad. So, Michael Schmidt says, Dallas, I find the opposite to take a flathead Plymouth to drags and all the old shiny gray hair. Come check it out. I would think if you take yours and it performs or make noise through headers at school, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people checking it out. But see, most people don't pay attention to any of those cars. And matter of fact, even today I was talking about it to somebody and they're like, I've never seen one of those. What do they even look like? And I'm like, think small. And they're like, oh yeah, 3,000 pounds. I said, no, like 2,300 pounds. And most people have no idea. So it's interesting how it all stops. Like literally right at the invention of the A body, no one gives a crap about anything before that. Let's see. Buick Smith. There's a guy near me that has a 68 LeSabre 400 fastback for sale. No title though. Oh, well, you should score that thing and see if you can do the, what is it, the Vermont title loophole thing.
You can't do that anymore.
Oh, you can through
No, because
Austin.
people coming here on YouTube talking all about it have ruined it for everyone. If
Oh,
they just
really?
done it and kept their mouth shut and told their buddies offline, we'd still have it.
Well, there you go. But yeah, that 68 LeSabre Fastback is a good looking car. The 400 is in reference to the transmission. So
Really?
yeah, yep. 68 LeSabre 400, but any of the LeSabre 400s were in reference to the Turbo 400 transmission. You could have got a 350. Well, that one would have had a 350 in it. Manual Mavericks were floor shift and only available as a 3-speed, even with a V8. Oh, that's kind of interesting. But it would have been that same top loader Dearborn 3-speed.
Levi has a question about the parachute mount. He's going to take his Laguna and drop it out of a plane. So he needs to know if the parachute mount needs to be welded to the car.
Let's see. All right. Does the parachute need securely welded to the car in order to pass tech? Well, dude, I mean, one, it should be securely welded to the car so it doesn't just pull the parachute off. That's what I would assume. But yeah, I would assume. I don't think it has to be welded. You can actually put them in like a. I've seen guys put them in a Reese hitch mount and put a pin in it.
But still, that, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Colleen, actually, it was Joe who told him that. He said he's putting a parachute mount in his car, and Joe said, "Are you going to drop the car out of an airplane?"
I don't know. I don't know if I would do a parachute yet. I mean, okay. Haven't you ever been the guy that went to the track and you saw a car with a parachute and you're like, man, I can't wait to watch this run, and it runs like an 8:30 in the 8th mile, and you're like, what a disappointment, right? And I mean, I'm sure your car is mile an hour wise is getting there close, but I would not put it in until you crest that number, because this is one of those things that looks bad if you don't need it. Let's see.
I would never talk anyone out of putting more safety equipment on their car than it's required to have. I would just want them to do it right.
Well, I don't know. And I'm right there with you, but I mean, the parachute is always one of those things that it was always a disappointment when the car wasn't even fast enough to require it, right?
As somebody whose name is going to be on the lawsuit if something bad happens, I'll go on record saying I'd never want to talk somebody out of more safety equipment than they need. But that said, if you put a parachute on a car that runs in the 7s and the 8th, people are going to laugh and they're going to point. And I'm going to be one of those people who laughs and points.
Yeah, I know he's building a Harrier motor, so I'm assuming he's planning on turning up the boost like way high. But
Don English is going to make his so it can be attached to the tow hitch. He's going to put a parachute on that 62 Valiant for when he goes Thelma and Louisa in it.
Well, okay. I'm definitely not going to put a parachute on until I need it. They don't look right on something that definitely doesn't need it.
Clint says wheelie bars are like that too. Yeah, well, the thing about wheelie bars is, you're either on the bars or using them or you're not.
See, you guys are touching on some things here like I find personal. I hate wheelie bars. Wheelie bars are such a crutch, right? And man, I mean, they look good on a pro stocker. They do not look good on anything that you can literally drive on the street.
I never hated wheelie bars until I saw one thing. I saw this import racer, and this was close 30 years ago. He had a front-wheel drive Honda, and he had some kind of CO2 bottle that worked the solenoid on the wheelie bars. And when he would put the car in first gear and stage it, it would have so much bottle pressure. And then, because what it was doing is it was pushing the wheelie bars down to plant the front end because it was front-wheel drive. And then when he pulled second gear, it would release some bottle pressure. And when he pulled third, it would release enough they came all the way up. So the guy was basically making a 6-wheeled car to try to make the front wheel drive work with the wheelie bars. I'm like, no way ever. That's insane.
You expect the same. Can you tell me the tech rule for having a drive shaft loop again, please? At what speed and what is the distance? All right, so a drive shaft loop, there is no speed requirement for it whatsoever.
The
It
ET,
is when,
though,
huh?
I think it's 735 on ET, but you have to have it at any ET with slicks.
There is no requirement for ET. It is required the second you put a racing tire on it. There is no ET requirement. But the thing is like you're literally going to have to go to a racing tire, at pretty much anything faster than just a basic street car.
Levi says wheelie bars belong on a car that runs 690s in the quarter. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so he's saying he wants a parachute because we've been close enough that I'm afraid to blow that gasket and wreck. As bad a luck as you've had for at No Name Nationals, I would say that's probably a solid statement right there. If it's not the head gasket, maybe the oil pan, right? So Fab Race Mon repeats, they have a series that he and I worked together on, came up with a quick draw. It's essentially a true street kind of series, and they had 2 parachutes in the field Saturday. So I'm assuming they must have been really fast.
Mopar's Mustangs Minivans Damien says he guess he's putting a parachute on the monkey bike. Go for it. But if you got a parachute on a monkey bike, we're definitely checking it out.
Whatever you do, don't put it on your back, okay? Don't put it on your back.
If you do, take your time staging so we can get up top to film.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We may need to put wheelie bars on the new pit cart. Oh no, Colleen, what kind of pit cart did you get? Okay. Buick Smith says, trying to get my daughter's boyfriend to join the No Name Nationals. He's building a 3rd-gen Camaro for Big Sky Drag and Drive next month in Montana. That's probably one place that you could go and drag and drive, and it would have to be like almost the norm, right? Because isn't each track like 600 miles apart in that place? Because there literally is like one on the eastern side, and there used to be one on the western side. And you had to drive like 600 miles to get to either one. So, yes. Okay. And then the other thing, Buick Smith, after giving you a ration of crap saying you got to have a drag slick and stuff like that, I didn't tell you it's got to be within 6 inches of the front U-joint. That's the whole point. It's in case that U-joint breaks, the drive shaft will not fall down and you pole vault. That's the big one, because that would cause you to have essentially a rollover crash. So if the front U-joint breaks, it just falls, right? If the rear one breaks, it's not a big deal. It just drags on the ground. The drive shaft will probably fall out. But front drive shaft, the front of the drive shaft falling down is a big deal. If you remember, what is it, Jezebel? Didn't Jezebel broke the transmission in the whole entire yoke?
Jezebel broke the whole output shaft and housing.
Yeah, and then the drive shaft did not fall on the ground. Okay. Let's see. Damien says he needs more weight. So is that in regards to the mini bike or the monkey bike with the parachute on them, or what?
He needs more weight to make the 230-pound minimum for monkey bike.
Val 360 Jimmy is asking, is 65 thousandths ring gap per inch of bore okay for a 200 shot of nitrous? I don't know. I'd have to do the math on that.
65 thousandths?
Yeah, that's
per inch of bore.
That can't be right.
Maybe
it's supposed to be 6.5 thousandths.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, that is 65. No, that's not okay. It'll work for a 200 shot.
Oh, yeah.
But when your ring gap is like 3/4 of an inch. I don't know how well it's going to run. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, 6.5 thousandths.
Yeah, 6,500. Let's see what that comes up with.
I think I've heard 5.
Oh, that's actually kind of tight. With a 4-inch bore,
I
that
don't
brings you
know.
up to 26 thousandths, right?
Yeah.
That's actually a little bit tight.
I mean,
you should be 26 to 28 at about a 3 3/4 bore.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to need like 30 thousandths or so. 28 to 30 thousandths, I think it's going to be your number for a 4-inch bore.
Buick Smith says, we were talking on Buff's channel, we all need to get CBs in our cars. I cannot think of anything I would rather have less in my car than a CB. I mean,
what's wrong? Oh, you want one?
Just for sanity. No.
Oh. Let's see. Oh man, I have never talked to anyone on a CB radio. I don't think in my life.
I had a few buddies in school that had them. They were still a thing then, but
well, it is cool when he broke down, but I think the cell phone almost completely replaced the CB, the need for the CB. Let's see. Levi's backyard performance. My window net is in, so I'm good on that front. All the car needs is front shocks and rear end work. And the finish
wheel, the parachute mount, and the motor.
Well, and he's got to get his motor built, doesn't he?
I think Levi and Ken are going to have a big race, but they're really dragging this call out. Just it's bad.
CBs are cool. It used to be just all the truckers that had them. I don't know. I never had one. I know off-roading, it was a big deal because you might not have signal where these guys were going for your cell phone. So CB was the thing if you're going off-roading with some buddies.
Well, Smokey and the Bandit made a lot of use to CB. Dukes of Hazzard made a lot of use to CB. And the movie Joyride, I believe, was a little bit late for it, 2001, but they had the CB was central to the plot of the movie Joyride. And if you haven't seen that movie, check it out. It's got a 70 Fury in it. It's a good movie.
Oh, well, Convoy had them too.
Yep.
So, and BJ and the Bear.
Yeah.
But you know what? It had to be the late 70s, had to be the pinnacle of CB radio.
Yeah.
Let's see. Levi said, I did my part, sir. Ken didn't do a video on his response. I want to make it interesting. Is money the way to do that, or what's y'all's thoughts?
My thought is it takes two to tangle when it comes to call outs. And after the first year, we saw far fewer call outs to no-name nationals because people realized it took people actually showing up and getting cars done and everything else. And if you didn't have both channels do it, it didn't work. We had people who would make a lot of noise and then never show up. And, so we had fewer call outs in year 2. I'd like to see the return of more call outs.
Well, and that, and a lot of that is okay. I was dealing with this in San Diego when they were doing the match race madness stuff. Guys would set up match races and then not show up.
Yeah.
Right? And those are the ones we would call the gum bumpers, right? Because they would just run their gums and then not do it. And it's like, there's nothing that looks more chicken shit, in my opinion, than, setting up a race with somebody and then not showing up. That's pretty cowardly, especially if you don't even call them, let them know.
I generally don't name names. I leave that up to them and always want to be general. I'll name one. Blown Budget Garage has made a huge amount of noise before both year 1 and year 2 and vanished before the no-name nationals and for the whole, the rest of the year, both years. And we haven't heard from him yet this year, so who knows? But man, he made a lot of videos, a lot of trash talk, call out, all, and just vanished both years.
Let's see. Okay. LP94 going back and forth with call out videos is part of the fun. Yes.
Sure,
Yeah, you just
I
need
agree.
both of the people to participate. That's
Yes.
the big one. Let's see. Okay, Michael Schmidt saying dumb bumpers is what I call bench racers. Yeah, that's true. And Levi saying he'll be there come hell or high water. Well, you have to be there now because you've already called him out. If he doesn't show up, that's
Levi will be there. Levi's always there.
Yeah, Levi will be there, and he'll make a blistering pass right off the trailer. I'm sure of it. Because that thing, right off the trailer ran like a 630 last year. No tuning.
I don't know. We want to see. Yeah, M&M had a call out with Randall. He just vanished. He got a new rear end from Joe and everything, and ordered some wheels that didn't fit, and I don't know where all that went. Just vanished. I think what happens is it's football season causes him to kind of go underground. I don't know. But it's not just him. There's all kinds of it. It's just he just came to mind because I saw Damien.
Well, I don't know. There's quite a few of them that do that,
Yeah.
and it's pretty. In my book, it's kind of cowardly. If you're going to tell somebody you're going to be there, be there. You know, that's. I don't know. Maybe that was me growing up, but that's like one of the things as a man. If you give your word on something, you're supposed to be.
Times have changed. I've been looking at these old advertisements in the newspapers at Montgomery Museum today, and I might do some of this on the live on Friday. But what those ads remind me is not just how times have changed, but how the people have changed. Like, doing these advertisements that show people engine parts in an automotive newspaper advertisement. And then they'll describe where the dealership is west of this place at this intersection. A lot of people, they couldn't even follow directions like that. It's just completely different.
Buick Smith, any updates on dyno time for the what if engine? All right. Okay. I am going to have an update on the what if engine. I have actually been making content, but I haven't put anything out because it was always a bust. Like I took apart a guy's 360 or a 355 Wildcat, and it had 3 broken pistons in it, and the block was scored up. So that video you can kick to the curb. But I will have a new video here coming out soon. Once I'm done with the Buick Nationals, I have all of the parts to assemble the What If 300. So we're going to find out what kind of number it makes. But yes, I have already secured a dyno, and I do have to make a motor mount for the Buick small block to put on the dyno. But the good thing is, once I make a motor mount that fits a 300 or the What If 300 even, it'll bolt on a 350 Buick. So that means my super stocker might be going to the dyno soon. My super stock motor. Now the What If 300, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to dyno a stock 300 Buick. And who gave me that thumbs up? Right when I give a thumbs up, huh? Yeah, I'm going to dyno a stock 300 Buick with a 4-barrel intake manifold so we can compare them, just apples to oranges. It's not really going to be apples to oranges. I guess it should be apples to apples, but yeah, we're going to do that. And then we're going to do the What If 300 on the dyno. So I have everything I need now. I just picked up last week, matter of fact, a 69 300 or 350 Buick, so that I can put those heads on the 300. So Levi saying he struggled with traction. The best we could stretch last year off the limits of front suspension and rear wouldn't have been any faster than 599.
But what was it actually, Levi? What did you actually run? What is the quickest you've ever run in that Laguna ever?
I saw him at Edgewater running like low 6s. Let's see, Dizzy Izzy saying top 600 subs today.
Right on.
Congrats. Mopar's Mustangs, minivans. John is talking about ads that made promises.
Actually, today's ads make more promises. They just don't care and don't keep them and lie because it doesn't matter.
That's called the bait and switch.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed, if you go on Facebook and you start talking about, I need an alternator for my car, next thing you know, there'll be 25 alternators show up at every parts store within 5 miles of you. And then when you drive down there, guess what? They don't have your alternator, but they got you in the store. Okay, so Dakota said he wants a 63 super stock Buick. I promise I'll get back to it. I will. It's just right now the priority is I need to move some stuff, like my turbocharged boat anchor 350 Buick. I turned it into a stock 350 Buick, took it to the Nationals to sell that just because I needed some cash. And it's hard to make the 63 Buick go without any cash. Let's see. Did I get my flywheel for the 300 yet to run it on the dyno? I'm good to go. I got all the parts I need to run on the dyno, except for I need to make some motor mounts. That's it. And now I have 2 fragged small block Buick motor mounts, and I'm just going to weld some channel to them and set it up for the dyno. Let's see. Okay, Michael Schmidt, did you get the dyno for a month like you were thinking was possible? No, but I probably could have if I talked to him. If I thought about leasing the dyno, because that's what I was originally thinking. But right now, with all this divorce stuff going on, I thought it was best to just go see if I could talk to him. And the guy was totally open as long as I made my own motor mounts and I showed up with a manual straight shift flywheel. And the other thing is they have some kind of oil filter assembly thing that they want me to have some kind of fittings for. And I don't know if I'm going to do that. I think a sandwich filter is probably about the only thing I'm going to be able to do with them, or like a filter sandwich or whatever they call those. I don't know. Most of the Buick stuff, you don't run external oiling because it already has so many problems with the oiling. So we'll see. Let's see. Levi says no name was 630s. I won't say best time. It ain't much faster. Let's see here.
So in other words, 629. So this is old Two-Hacks dragster's coming along pretty good here.
Yeah, that's looking nice.
Look at that.
Yep.
Transmission is probably done as we speak. I got to see the teardown on that.
Isn't that the Coke tranny?
The block is going together on it right now.
Huh. Needs 300 Buick with the Hillborn injection on it in there. Dust Double Garage says, yes, cool cars eat cash. They do. And they don't take small bites.
You want to sit right over that axle housing?
I'd do it. I always wanted to run a dragster. No problem. Let's see. Michael Schmidt says, I was at the Chrysler dealer complaining that they can fix squat. I walked into the showroom and they have $100,000 Jeep Wagoneer. I think that they would be embarrassed to put that ad in print, I guess. Yeah, I'm done with cars now. I won't be buying anything new until I win the lottery or die.
No.
Let's see. Nick the Van Man says he'd put a 401 nailhead with dual AFBs and a switch pitch in that dragster. Well, hey, man, you get a dragster and I'll throw you a switch pitch. I'll give you one for free. I got 3 of them I'm sitting on right now.
Well, so Levi's talking about Jeff will have low ET unless something comes out of nowhere. Here's the thing, Levi. Jeff's car actually has a chassis cert on it, and it's certed to go fast. If we just look the other way and let people run whatever without proper cages and stuff, I'm sure that's possible. But, this whole thing of people running faster in their safety equipment's not okay. So if somebody wants to come out with a faster car with the right safety equipment, sure, bring it.
Yeah, well, and that thing, I think it's only running like a 301 Chevrolet, or no, I guess he might have a 406.
It's about a 400, something like a 400-inch small block Chevy, but it runs crazy compression, and they're going to run it on methanol.
Yep, and it's got a Hillborn on it.
Set up to run nitromethane. So,
yeah, I don't think it will.
We'll
it's set up to be like a junior fuel car. If you're familiar with junior fuel, it's a small block with lots of compression and ran nitro.
That's a pretty wild looking little ride, though. I mean, they've been working really hard on that.
Yeah. Well, I'd really like to have something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess all my stuff is just going to be door cars because that's all I can really find. Let's see.
Ty Higgins, when you get to that one, I got an idea, Dallas.
What's
Talk
that?
about it right here.
What's that? Buick Smith says, "Did anyone see the Pontiac had a new ad on the back page of Car and Driver?" Yeah, it was a joke, but it wasn't a realistic ad. I've seen it a couple of times go around Facebook, but it's just a joke. Let's see. Okay. So what were you wanting to talk about? Absurd
So
Ty
Ty
Higgins.
has hit 500, and Ty had been talking about building a go-kart or something like that, or a monkey bike. You know, there is a channel that is always looking for a monkey bike jockey.
Oh, which one's that?
You.
Oh, that's what I was just going to bring up, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ty, if you want to run the monkey
Yeah.
bike, man, you just got to come down and get the thing because it's the
That's
I don't
it.
know. I guess the name the monkey bike needs to have is like the slut because everybody gets a turn on it. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But
we're
no,
just
yeah.
following around. But yeah, if you want to run the monkey bike, come down and get it, man. It's just
That's
at my
it.
place. You load it up. You can throw some whiz bang parts at it or do whatever you want, but it needs to be functional and then it's got to be shared the next year. It can't be ridden by
Right.
you.
We've had 2 different channels jockey the monkey bike, and you can be the third. And we need to start seeing who can get the quickest time out of it with whatever they do.
Yeah, well, come down to Murfreesboro area and I'll load you
Yeah.
up with a monkey bike and it's ready to rock and roll right now.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
See, Nick the Van Man's wanting to do some stuff there. So yeah.
Yeah, well, John and I, like, if you go back and look at the very first year of No Name Nationals, John and I got this monkey bike, and we added extra power to it, right? We put rockets on the thing, and it ended up just exploding behind me and knocking the wind out of me. But yeah, that thing was we had all these little plans like what we could do. We were going to shave the tires down to nothing so it had no nubs on it so it would roll easier. The big one was just like fixing the rolling resistance. That bike out of the box was like, you might as well had square wheels on that damn thing.
The
Nothing was
brakes were
lined up on
dragging.
it. Yeah, nothing was
Look how
lined up on
much
the
we got.
chain.
They were just fixing the brake drag.
Yeah, the brakes, and then the chain that we had some stupid master link in it that was a different pitch, and it would cause the chain to jump around every time it came around. Okay.
Now that's cool. Nick the Van Man says he would build a sweet exhaust for that monkey bike. That's freaking cool.
Dude, you should do the Bazooka exhaust from Japan. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the guys that take the motorcycles, make them look like 70s, like Easy Rider, but then they put the exhaust like stacks going behind them, straight pipes with stacks on them. Tied it. Nick the Van Man can get a hold of me, and then I'll send you my number.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, because remember, it's been a couple of years now. Dallas and I tried to use big bottle rockets attached to this monkey bike for propulsion, and it actually worked just a little bit. You could see it. It gave the bike some boost,
some pep, and then it exploded. All the rockets went off at the same time. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, Dallas said it felt like he got hit by a board, and all the I was right behind it, so it wasn't a good day for either of us, but it was a good video.
Yeah, it was funny because we were like, yeah, you can extra engines, but nothing. It's sort of say like didn't say anything about solid rocket boosters.
You can tell Dallas has spent time in the Navy by the fact that he'll let me take a torch and light explosives that close to his butt and think nothing about it.
Man, that's not the first time my butt's exploded.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. Fab Race Mod Repeat says Dallas, that's it. Rocket propelled monkey bike land speed record. Yeah, you could do it. I wouldn't want to be the guy. I'll tell you that right now.
No way.
So Yeah, Nick the Van Man can get a hold of me. He's got my contact info. So Ty, all you got to do is, and what's cool is if you got the van still, if you still got a van, load the monkey bike up in the van.
Yeah.
And bring it to No Name Nationals.
Do
Right?
a video with the van. Pull up in the van, the doors open, and the monkey bike and you come flying out the back.
You know what would be even better? Here's what I think would be cool. You pull up in the van and you roll down the passenger window and you're like, hey, you, get in the van, right? I got candy in here. There's nitrous oxide in here. And then it shows the monkey bike sitting there. That would be pretty cool. That'd be funny. Okay.
Blue Grit's talking about, he said, it's going to be like a reality show trying to get 500 subscribers and getting a car done. Actually, if you're getting a car done, you'll get the subscribers if you keep making content on the car you're working on. Those go hand in hand.
Oh, yeah. You know what? So the more progress you make on your car and the faster you get it together, the more content that you get out there, the more subs you're going to get.
People will stay invested.
Right. That's where people screw this up because they'll go, oh, this first 250 was so hard, I'm never going to make it. Well, you already got the ball rolling. So the way YouTube works is it works just like your browser history. Okay. And that's what it relies off of. So the more people that hit your channel and it stays in their browser history, and then you create a new video and they go watch that one, as long as it's still within like 2 to 3 days within their browser history, it starts promoting it on YouTube. So the more you get, the more people that hit it, the better it's going to be. And it just takes repetition and being consistent about it. All you have to do is make a video, make it less than 15 minutes. 12 is the ideal number. And then just start hammering them out every day. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. Let's see.
When people are still trying to figure out who you are, short videos are a big deal. People are far more likely to take a chance on watching a 2-minute video from a channel they've never heard of than a long video. But make them every day.
Blue Grit, good content sharing is everywhere and some hard work and you'll make it. Take it from Dylan Levi here. Okay. Dylan Levi was No Name Nationals. He was a No Name 500 contender in 2022. And he had the hardest time the first couple of months. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, the ball starts rolling and bang, he's got his 500 subs.
I notice when they quit worrying about their subs, they just start pouring in.
Yeah. Let's see. Max Wedge Dick Dastardly, who has the best YouTube name. Yes. My dad had a generator that was loud. So he ran a piece of water line out the back of his trailer. People next to him said lug in to their generator. It was even loaded with water pipe. I don't know what this is telling me.
Yeah.
Okay. Schweers and Gears. Getting my 40 Chevy frame ready for tubular control arms and a fresh coat of Rust-Oleum with added hardener. Gloss black on Speedway Mustang 2 arms. Well, it sounds pretty cool. A 40 Chevy with tubular control arms. What kind of drivetrain you running that thing? Let's see. Blue Grit Garage. Thanks for the channel input. Can I duct tape a bunch of bottle rockets to my 6-cylinder and get it to run? Sure.
Make a video on that.
I think you should make a video, but what I think you should do is you should go down and buy like a bunch of or actually go on Amazon, buy like 8 lawnmower carburetors and then make a tunnel ram for or actually 6, and then put it on your 6-cylinder with 6 lawnmower carbs as a tunnel ram setup for that 6-cylinder. And just make it out of garbage stuff.
Buick Smith says he was really surprised that over 135 people have watched my 1-minute video on testing the GS. I thought for sure it was too long. I'm here to tell you that 1 minute, that's the reason why that many people have watched it. Short videos, people more likely to take a chance on.
You got to remember, they have no attention span today, right? So short is good. And then if they really like your content, they end up overrun your channel, especially if you do something interesting. Like that tough video, you know how easy it is to buy a 99-cent ball of yarn and tape it to your car and drive it around? But it just takes thinking outside the box. That's how everybody used to do it in NASCAR before they had wind tunnels.
Do lots of short videos when you're new. Lots of short videos. Don't let editing paralyze you and make you wait to get content out. That's what stops your progress on the No Name 500. 70% of the No Name 500 make it statistically. 70%. The 30% that don't make it let paralysis set in because they don't want to put a video out. They wait on it and wait on it. It's too long. When you're new, get a short video out every day.
So Buick Smith saying, sorry, it was 15 minutes, not 1 minute. So here's the deal. Okay. That's the magic. That's within the magic window. The magic window is 12 to 15. But when you're new and you're just starting to make videos, here's where people screw up. You make a 15-minute video and you have a lull period in there that's longer than 1 minute. Okay. No one wants to watch the lull. No one wants to watch something that's boring that you can do. Speed it up, slow it down, add music, whatever you got to do to get rid of that lull, right? But you don't want the lull in there. And then
I could make a rough correlation that for every 100 subscribers you have, you could probably have about a minute of video and have enough retention from audience members to watch it. So if you have 100 subscribers, a 1 minute video, if you have 200 subscribers, a 2 minute video, by the time you get to the No Name 500, 500 subs, you might be able to do a 5 minute video. If you have 2,000 subs, you might be able to have a 20-minute video. That's pushing it, but I'm telling you, there's a correlation there. Shorter, the newer you are, the more it will help you to get shorter videos, get your name out there.
I never did videos to try to get my name out there. One, I was just doing stuff, Buick stuff, and Uncle Tony like drugged me along. And I mean, I'm by no means an expert on any of this, but I do know for a fact that the videos, when you do a video, and if it's fairly short and it's very information friendly, it's got something packed in it and it's real short, those tend to do better than a video that you might take 15 minutes to explain something. And it just, like I said, the lull, you get to a point, watch it yourself before you post it, because you'll go, golly, this is taking forever. Well, if you're thinking about that, that's exactly what your watcher's doing.
Dakota said 500,000 subs and you can do a 1 week long video. You're probably right. If you have 500,000 subs, you'll probably have enough people with attention span and enough people coming and going that if you had a 1 continuous long week video, people would watch it.
Well, look at Technician Troy is not getting a lot of credit here. Good news. I made it last year and I am all the way boring. Yeah. He's not all the way boring. This guy's giving you crap. This guy's fun to hang out with.
He's got a 7-second truck and he builds good stuff. He's got it going on.
See, okay, so here's Daddy's Money Garage. I think 8 to 10 minutes is best because that's how long a video has to be to get mid-roll ads, which only really matters if you're monetized. Also, that's the average time an American spends on the toilet. Well, that's pretty good thought right there. Because that's what people are doing. They're watching their video while you're taking a poo, right? So that's it.
If you're new and you're trying to get 500 subs, do short videos frequently. And if you're 2 and 3 weeks between videos, you're not going to make it.
Here's what I did notice. Like, there's certain channels that do really well, easy to get people in and out of, right? Look at Buck Does It, right? Buck, he reviews other channels.
And Buck's got 7,000 subs too.
Yeah, and you can literally review another channel's. Let's say you're doing something on like I don't know, carburetor cleaning. Okay, you go find another channel that's done a carburetor cleaning video and it's got freaking 400,000 views, and you do review on theirs and like, oh man, compare it to what you're doing, or a junkyard crawl like Steve Maggs. You got 1 million subs of just watching him crawl through the junkyard. Go to the junkyard. Look at Junk Car Willie. He started with nothing. Zero. Absolutely zero. The first No Name Nationals, when we announced it, is when he started a channel. And then it was just walking around the junkyard showing you junk
Car Willie has 13,000 subs. He started from nothing. Buck Does It had 40 some subscribers and registered for the No Name Nationals. He got his subs. He got the Cinderella Award. Buck has 7,000 now. Barrow's Garage had 42 subs when he registered. He did short videos every day. Barrow's has about 4,000 subs now. We know what we're talking about. The biggest thing is make those uploads every day. I'm not saying you have to do this every day. You say, I don't have time. That's fine. You can do them all on one day, but release them every day. If you do that, you'll make it. I have never seen a No Name 500 guy that did videos every day and didn't make it. Never.
Aaron Germanson says, in 6 cells, show some skin. So I always go for the high thigh show when I do a video, you know, but you might want to go for like a soft white underbelly, you know. Okay. Yes.
No, Daddy's Money. Copyright aside, stolen content is not okay.
That's going to get you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. No, I mean, the intellectual property on Steamboat Willie version of Mickey is expired. However, stolen content's not okay.
Yeah, we try to like, we frown on you taking somebody else's content. There was I don't remember who that was. Somebody one year was sampling everyone else.
I don't want to promote people who've done it.
Let's see. Clayton's Toolbox says, I really need to start some new content. My channel is really an outlet for me to share my hobby with long distance friends, and it grows. Funny thing, my highest ranked video is on Hot Wheels cars. It doesn't really matter what. It's just got to be the right place at the right time. But like my channel, I've let it pretty much just be dormant since December. I haven't done anything with it. I will upload something, but I did hear that if you let it sit for too long, they'll demonetize you. And I don't know. I don't know why they would. You're not making any content, so they're not having to pay you.
Daddy's Money, yes, Steamboat Willie is public domain, but the thing is, it's still stolen the content. I mean, make your own stuff. You can do it. You have 5,000 subs. Buick Smith making forging video. There you go. Make videos on the stuff you do besides cars. Those always do well. Like JB sharpening videos do really well. Forging videos would do really well.
Especially if you it shows you pounding something on an anvil, and the next thing you know, you got a cool looking Buick wheel, and you're like, I made this.
Yeah, for real. For real. People would love that. If you made a wheel, hand forged like a wheel, that would be awesome. Fab Race Mod Repeat talks about his biggest video is changing an alternator pulley. I got to say, that's a big deal because every car has an alternator pulley. And you'd be surprised how many views. And well, there again, it's his biggest video. Yeah, so it's his most viewed video for a good reason.
Let's see. Denny's Money Garage says a community post will put your channel as active as far as YouTube is concerned and kind of reset the timer, so to speak. Now, probably. I don't know. I'm not going to let it go a year. I'm going to make something here really soon. I actually got all my parts to do my What If 300 Buick, and we're going to find out. Well, I'm going to put together, and then we're going to walk through how to do it, and then I'm going to put it on the dyno and see what kind of difference it makes. The only sad part is I had to scrape and claw my way to have 8-to-1 compression. So it's not in comparison to the 300 that has 9-to-1 compression. So we'll see.
Buick Smith, I'm sure you have my email. Get a hold of me on that. Want to do some trophies? I'll put my email. I can't put my email up because I'm on StreamYard. Colleen, if you would put my email and I'll put it up. I can do it. I got the YouTube browser open. Buick Smith, if you would email me and we'll.
Let's see. Aaron Germanson says, what software do you use to publish to YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
There it goes. I use this. I use the Movie Maker but I have a Mac. I have Mac Movie Maker, right? Which actually works really well. Like the intro that you guys watched, when the show started, I made that in the Windows Movie Maker, or not Windows, in the Mac Movie Maker. Okay,
software to publish to YouTube. You don't need any software to publish to YouTube.
No, to edit my video. Oh yeah, to publish it to YouTube? No, it just needs to be in the correct format. You just upload it. Yeah, no, you just upload it to YouTube. Let's see, Danny's Money Garage. Also, just to be clear, I'm not saying steal content. It was a joke because the day it hit public domain, tons of people did exactly that to Steamboat Willie. I don't doubt it. People are not the greatest. Okay, Levi says, my best video is R134A conversion, 190 Chevy 1500, very simple to make. I tell you what, should be your best video, and you let it fall by the wayside. Your ramp truck. You never finished the ramp truck.
But the R134A has got a lot of wide appeal.
My best video was Quadrajet carburetor video. And it just so happens that I put one out an hour and a half before Uncle Tony put a Quadrajet carburetor video out. And all of a sudden, it started hitting big time, which was kind of annoying, like, because he hates Quadrajets. So, like, why was he putting that up? Let's see. Okay. These story evening Dallas. You headed up to Beach Bend for a Buick event. I was just there today, and I'll be back there tomorrow morning. At probably like 9 o'clock. I think they open at 9, so that's when I'm going to be there. I gotta get my 350 Buick sold. Let's see.
Miss Katie, would you prefer we call them MP4s?
Yeah, videos. Well, that's Professor P was asking me this morning if I was going to videotape up the No Name Nationals. I guess that's such a Gen X thing, right? Because if you're not familiar, if you're born after 1995, they used to have big VHS recorders that you would literally hike up on your shoulder and videotape. But before that, there was nothing. Nobody had anything. You had 8mm, but it had no sound.
Professor P, of the three of us, will be 50 first. So we got some time to really rag on him for being old. Not much, but a little bit.
Oh, so Dylan's saying the ramp truck is on hold until I get access to the garage. Right now, it's full of 3 in-building process race cars. It'll come back. Man, you need to get that ramp truck going. I'm telling you, that's your ticket right there.
So Dallas, if you're going to videotape it, should I call and leave a message on your answering machine?
Probably. After the beep. Oh, well, John's saying that he's seen their own retrofit videos getting shared in Panther groups by total strangers. I'll tell you what, that was one of the biggest crowning achievements for me in one of the Buick groups. I asked a question, and this dude posted one of my videos as the reply saying, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm like, I'm that guy, right? Like, I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking it. Let's see. Danny's Money Garage says one of our videos ended up as a citation in an article on the Autopian. Oh, that's cool. I don't know what that is.
Hey, Fabrice Madre Pete, if you would, could you send me an email? Something I want to ask you about, if you would. He must be older than us. He says we're all a bunch of youngins.
He's not too much older, though.
Professor P and Dallas and I were all born in 3 consecutive years. So Professor P will be 50 first, and then we can tease him for a short amount of time.
Yeah, for being 5-0 over the hill. And then it's like 9 months later, I'm 50.
P will be 50 in January.
Oh, so 4 months later. Oh no, he's a year
It's
older than
coming
me.
up quick.
Yeah, he's a year older than me. So let's see. Oh, okay. So Autopian was born mostly from the ashes of Jalopnik's smoldering corpse. So Jalopnik's gone? I didn't know that. See, most of these are all forums that, if you're not familiar, forums was like the way how all of it was done before YouTube, before social media, before all of it. It was all done with forums. So you had people, birds of a feather flocking together around. The forums always generally circled around a platform of car most of the time, but there was a few of them that had multiple platforms. Like Jalopnik was just old beat cars, right? So you'd make it really broad, so there'd be a lot of people on that one. But what was Yellow Bullet was one. I don't know if that even exists anymore.
I only see Yellow Bullet when I'm doing a search on old stuff.
Well, there used to be a Yellow Bullet Nationals. I don't think they have enough people to pull that off anymore.
Who knows? Speaking of all that, you'll find this interesting. So,
Hey, did you know about this?
I was digging around. I did. You know what's funny is I booted it from YouTube just to be funny, but I knew it would be up here so that Austin could enjoy it either way. Speaking of all these ancient things, check out what I have a copy of.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you and I were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, I've been digging into the old Pro Stock Nitrous scandal of the 90s. And I was reading the article in here. It's interesting stuff. Just thinking about defunct things in the car world.
Dakota's timeout says he'll be 50 in almost 30 years. And I'm going to give you a word of advice, friend. I'm being serious when I say this, and listen to what I say. Okay? That 30 years will go by so fast that you could not believe and even comprehend how fast that was. So do the things that you want to do.
On Sunday, it will be the 30th anniversary since I graduated high school.
I have that coming up this year, too.
Goes by like that. Blue Grit's asking if there will be a senior class No Name Nationals. No, because that's all of us.
Let's see. Technician Choice says he did a video of my buddy's Duramax with Banks exhaust, and I'll be damned if Banks didn't comment. Gail Banks is that dude. I went up there and took a tour at his little place, man, and he's a freaking awesome dude.
Levi says we're all old, but we don't know anything. We're just old.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Nick the Van Man. My transmission builder took my C6 apart this week, only to find it was so fresh. He thought they rebuilt it. Drove it into a field and parked it. Maybe I should have trusted the seller.
It was worth doing. You'd hate to have gotten somewhere and something was wrong. Part of the problem is these people that rebuild engines and transmissions and sell all this freshly built stuff often sell junk and don't even know it's junk. So you don't know. Now you know.
Oh, yeah, the Ham was one of them, too. Yep, the Ham. I don't know if the Ham is still around.
I don't know if it's still around or still playing. See, one nice thing about all these defunct things that still did exist in the internet age is you can find all these good articles and stuff are still out there. So the Ham will have things on, like fitment and projects people have done, so you can still benefit from.
Well, the Ham, that's what's good about the forums is most of that stuff sticks around. But what happens is those forums have to pay for their space. And if you don't go there and visit them and become a member and sometimes throw them some bucks when they need it, all that stuff will disappear off the web. And what was cool about like the Ham was what Ham stood for, hokey ass message board. Okay. And it was literally just a bunch of old timer hot rodders that figured out how to use the internet in the late 90s. And the cool thing was those guys generally had the answer when you weren't messing with something that was small block Chevy. Because, I mean, golly, a small block Chevy, before the LS became the thing to swap, small block Chevrolet was the swap king. And everybody knew everything there was to know about a small block Chevrolet. Like, you could literally be doing taste testing at the grocery store, and a 3-year-old child taking a piece of bacon and tell you the firing order of a small block Chevy. That's everybody knew, right? But when you went to hokey ass message board and you were trying to put, let's say you're trying to build an FE that was an obscure thing, and you're putting a 428 crank in a 406, and how many cubes is it going to be, and what pistons and rods do I use? That's on ham, right? It's anything but the small block Chevy. And I'm sure there's small block Chevy shit on there, but they knew everything about everything, gearhead wise.
The ham is great if you're doing old Hemi stuff. They have a lot of that on there. The ham is the Hemi hotheads or whatever that group is good.
Oh yeah,
both of them are good for that.
Okay, well, Michael Schmidt says, I think that's supposed to be BTW, but I don't know what DTO stands for. If you're 20 and can completely and competently wipe your ass and start a shitbox, you're doing great. Keep up the good car work. Once everybody figures out how that the carburetor's easier than EFI, and that junkyard stuff is cheap and affordable, it's gonna change one day. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Denny's in the garage says, "Hey, at least you didn't put together a 454 without thread sealer on the head bolts and have to take it back apart." But we've all done dumb mistakes like that. It's not a big deal. Hey, and I was gonna tell you something since you're here, Austin. I'm glad you're here, and you reminded me of that. Your 454, if it's got dual springs and you're wanting to break in the cam, make sure you pull that inner spring out. Right? Not the dampener, but 2 springs. Take the inner one out. So if you got to take it apart, you might as well do that. Nick the Van Man says the ham is still around. That's cool. I hope they stick around for a long time because there's a lot of good info on that thing. And Michael Schmidt says it's free. It is. I don't know if they can maintain their space for free, though. What's the best way to find a crack in a 360 Magnum block? You magnaflux it, but Nick, I know what you're talking about, and
Nick guys said it.
All you got to do is start it up and just look for water. Let's see. Oh, okay. DTO, Dakota's timeout. All right. I didn't even realize that. Okay. Dizzy Izzy is coming to Bowling Green. Let's see. I'll bring it to you there and vid some content if that's good for you. Low mile 215 with auto trans gift. You don't have to bring it to me. I just got rid of one of those last year, and I have no room to take on another one. So please don't bring me that thing. I don't have room for anything else. My garage is cram-packed full, and I need to get my T-Bird in there and get it ready for No Name Nationals. Let's see. Okay. John's saying that, and if you don't know John, he's part of the Daddy Money's Garage group. The old Fiero message board was run by one guy on a server in his closet in the Netherlands. It's amazing. It's still online after nearly 30 years. We used to have a Fox T-Bird and Cougar one, and I think they ended up having to pay, and that thing went away, and it moved to Facebook. So all the T-Bird and Cougar guys all started like hitting me up, like friending me. I'm like, who are these freaking cats, right? Because you knew them as their screen names on a forum. So I had no idea who hardly any of them were, but they were all hitting me up. But we used to have a list. There was like a top 100 list of the fastest Cougars and T-Birds. Um, and I was in there like a number 5 or something. I don't even know where I'm at now. I'm sure there's stuff that's way faster.
The next one there is Max Wedge Dick Dastardly.
Uh-huh.
There's 2 comments on here talking about transmission builds use a lot of the same parts, and I'm going to totally defend that because I have seen a lot of transmissions have better parts in them than the replacement parts that people put in them for no reason. Like I've seen people take better bands out and put lesser bands in, just as an example, right? So I think there's a really good case to leave a lot of good parts in a transmission instead of changing them. So really what's more fair is to have a basis for the labor to go through it and then just charge people for the parts they need. I mean,
let's see. Aaron Germanson saying, have any of you linked your YouTube channel to Patreon? No. I heard bad things. I remember being over with Uncle Tony when he was dealing with Patreon and they weren't paying him and all kinds of stuff. So who knows if it was true? I have no idea. But I just know that I just stayed away from it just because of that.
Dust Devil.
Dust Devil Grudge. If you're wondering if your Magnum heads are cracked, the answer is yes. But keep driving. Yeah. It's fine. Let's see. Colleen says, Dallas, did Shane send you pictures of the 8.8? No, but he did tell me about it, but I'm not interested right now. We're going to take if anything, we're going to get the Lemons car running. We're going to take the Lemons car to Land Speed Record Race. The T-Bird is just, there's too much to do on that one to try to convert it to a Land Speed Record Race car and then bring it right back and take all the stuff out and get ready for No Name Nationals. Blue Grit Garage says, I don't believe the ham drags are held anymore. A group took over at Mocan Raceway called the Spam Drags. I was there pre-COVID. I have to find old footage and post it. There's just a lot of things have happened in the past 10 years. If you haven't noticed, it's like we've lost a lot of things that used to be around.
Jeff says that he's listening in and working on a dragster. Jeff, I showed him a picture of your dragster. Your freshly started chassis dragster.
Technician Troy says he's looking for, as a heads up, he's looking for a solid roller that's not going to break the bank for my 396 Turbo 400 build. Man, I'll tell you what, big block and small block Chevrolet parts on Marketplace would probably be like the easiest things to find. So I would not be surprised if you find someone there. Indirect Connection says, I think Magnum heads came cracked from the factory.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Stop the conveyor line. Hold on. This one's not cracked. Tink. Okay. Okay. Nick the Van Man saying solid roller, hydraulic roller, all use the same cam core. Only difference is lifters. True. But solid roller generally has a much more aggressive profile.
Hey, Dallas, Levi's got one there that I can't wait to take a swing at with a baseball bat. At 8:30 there, Levi says to Jeff that I informed him that his chassis started way faster than me. So you're going to get that low ET. In other words, the speed, the ET cert, safety cert is the only reason that Levi is not going to get low ET over Jeff. That's how I read that.
Yeah. So Nick the Van Man's saying Dallas, we've lost a lot of things. It's so weird building stuff now. I'm definitely the minority. I tell you what, I buy more things off of eBay now and Marketplace than I ever have because I can pick old parts, and that's what I'll any day of the week. I'll pick old parts over new stuff.
That certification for ET is the craziest untrue thing I've seen all day, and I've even watched a Rich 220 video, so that's really saying something.
Well, so Buick Smith's asking, do they make timing tape for the factory Buick balancers? Not that I know of. They may, but I have never seen any. And it was, matter of fact, it was hard to find stuff for that was. It was actually it's hard to find timing tape anymore for a small block Ford. So I don't think they'll ever make any for a Buick if they've never made them yet.
Levi's also saying, I won't have time to test and add more cage. Levi, that dragster is going to run a second faster than your car's ever run.
It's all power to weight.
That thing's going to fly.
Yeah. Well, that thing, okay, in reality, to put it in perspective for you, that dragster probably weighs 14 to 1,600 pounds with an engine and driver, right? So, I mean, you don't have to make a whole bunch of power to make that thing fast.
It's 1,500 pounds, 1,580 with Jeff in it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
You know.
Yeah. So look at it like that. I mean, it's literally half the weight of a Corvette with the same amount of power.
A lot of power, yeah.
All right. Well, oh my gosh. You know what? I think I'm going to call it early night tonight, John, if you're willing to do that. I hate to waste everyone's evening, but I literally walked in the door and went live. And I really like to eat something more than an apple. And so, now, Dust Devil brings up a good point. He's saying so it's 1,500 pounds with no Jeff. You said it was 1,580 with the driver, right?
If it, yeah, it's Jeff gives it about an 80-pound swing.
Oh, let's see. Dylan Levi is saying I'm going to try and have 1,500 horsepower at my disposal.
We'll see it when we see it.
Yeah, Two Hacks Jeff is saying it's a small block, but it has a big block displacement. I don't doubt it. It's probably 406 cubic inch or something. Oh, let's see. Nick the Van Man says an old slingshot dragster with a hot 312 Y block. And if you don't know anything about Y blocks, a hot 312 would have been probably like 220 horse.
Yeah,
you literally run 10s in the quarter. Power to weight is a real thing. Yeah.
Oh. Power to weight really is everything.
And Buick Smith is saying, if 30 degrees is 1 3/4 inch for the 0 mark, can I equally split the difference to make other degree marks on the balancer? Yes, you can. You can actually just take the circle and make the marks on it, just make it like a 10-inch circle, and then you find out what the diameter of the Buick, and you just center it, and then it's already marked at that point because it doesn't change.
Measure the diameter very accurately times 3.1415926, and then divide that by 360, and you have your degree marks. I wouldn't do it. I would do it each degree mark because you don't want to lose accuracy. But
yeah, every 5 degrees it'd probably be easy. And then when you get around the timing mark, I mean, you could go 1 or 2. It's not the Buick. I never saw the need because it's got the cast in pointer on it that shows 0 all the way to 15 degrees, depending on which engine you're using. So, but other than that, though, I think we're going to call it an early evening. I would really like to eat something. So,
well, you should do that.
Yeah.
All right. It's been a blast.
Yeah. Well, thanks for jumping in here, John. I know Professor P, he hasn't messaged me yet, so I'm sure he's still dealing with this emergency dental deal with his daughter. So
life happens.
Yeah, but hey, I want to thank everybody for stopping by, even on this Wednesday Buick Nationals evening. And thanks, John, for last minute subbing for Professor P. I mean, because I literally called him when I was going live. So John's
Dakota says, y'all have a good one. Thanks for noticing, Dakota.
All right. So other than that, though, we'll see you cats on the flip side next Wednesday.
And I'll be live Friday. So we'll see.
Oh, all right. This Friday again? Then. You doing another Friday? Like a back-to-back?
Well, I've been live every Friday for years and years and years. So
I thought you took this Fridays off. Okay.
Yeah.
Shows what I know. All right.
I'll be seeing you guys then.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys later.
We're out.